Yeah, hi there. These comments are for NJ. I hope you're having a great day, and I'm getting ready to listen to your speaking practice test. I am Michael Buckhoff from BetterTOEFLScores.com, and let's take a look. So I have the independent speaking rubrics here, and I have your email here. You say, Dear Michael, good morning. I've sent you an audio of my speaking practice on the topic. So, what do we got here? Some people prefer work that allows them to move around outdoors, others feel it is more present to work in an office. Which do you prefer and why? Here is my report. Excuse me. Okay, anybody at YouTube, if you want to practice your response, pause the video and do it now. Then you can compare your response to the one I'm about to listen to, and you can consider some of my feedback and ask yourself, how well did you do in these areas? All right, so back to NJ. Here we go, buddy. Okay, I'm actually listening to, let's get started here.
Personally, I prefer work that allows me to move around outdoors. I think I have two reasons for that. Firstly, I am a social butterfly and I cannot stay within a single place for a long time. I need to go outdoors in order to refresh me, and I have to talk with the peoples after a certain time. Secondly, I think outdoors moving outdoors really helps to explore new ideas and solutions. In order to work effectively, those solutions are very helpful. Therefore, I believe that work that allows to move around outdoor really effective.
Okay, so the first glance, looking at the rubrics, you're having some problems with your language use. You're not able to express all your ideas with your existing grammar and vocabulary fluency. You're being held back, in other words, right? That's a problem, right? You're also having quite a few delivery problems. And I think when you explain your ideas, I'm looking at the two here. It says mostly basic ideas are expressed with limited elaboration. Exactly, yes. The response demonstrates limited range and control of grammar and vocabulary. Exactly. Unfortunately, you have problems in this area. And then delivery, you have unclear articulation, awkward intonation. Exactly. Choppy rhythm and pace. Yes. A lot of pauses and hesitations in there. So you're a classic case of two. You're in the two category right now. I'm going to put you between 2 and 2.5, so maybe between 15 and 17 points out of 30 on this practice test based on the response that you did right there, right? So let's listen to it one more time. Let's get the general idea how you did this.
Personally, I prefer work that
Notice how you say personally, I prefer. You don't need to say personally, right? I mean, just say, uh, working outdoors is better for me because, and state what your two reasons are, right? You're spending too much time in the beginning. You're eating up valuable time that you need to provide the supporting details you're not giving right now. So shorten the introduction, spend more time on the detail information.
allows me to move around outdoors. I think I have two reasons for that.
So I have two reasons for that. So you have that really short sentence right after the other sentence. I wouldn't do that. You might want to say, because I can get social interaction, and reason B, I prefer working outside.
Firstly, I am a social butterfly and I cannot stay within a single place for a long time. I need to go outdoors in order to refresh me.
And give me some examples in here. Do you have an example of where you were working at a company and from time to time you had to go outside to talk with people to get some fresh air?
And I have to, talk with the peoples after.
You don't say talk with peoples. I would just say talk with people. The only reason that you put a plural S on the word people is when you're talking about nationalities. For example, I could say there are many peoples of the world: the Japanese, the Germans, the Americans, Scandinavians, and so on.
Short in time. Secondly, I think outdoors, moving outdoors really helps to explore new ideas and solutions.
Okay, so instead of saying all that, just say, moving outdoors helps me solve problems at my job. And then give an example. Say, one time I was working for Hewlett Packard and we're having trouble figuring out a marketing strategy for Taiwan. So we all went outside, sat around a tree, and we talked. And as we went outside and talked, we were able to find a solution to help solve the problem we're having with Taiwan. So you need to give an example in there.
In order to work effectively, those solutions are very helpful. Therefore, I believe that work that allows to move around outdoor really effective.
So work that allows to
Personally,
be
I
is really effective. So don't forget your be verb in there. So I think that my comments are pretty accurate. I had a pretty good first impression after I listened to it. Now the question is, what do you do now? I mean, how do you get better? How do you actually improve? So if I were you, I would focus on the big three right now, because before you get these three things figured out, it's going to be hard for you to move forward with your speaking fluency. A, improve your vocabulary. Study vocabulary lesson 3, 4, 5, and 6 in my online course. Really make an effort to learn those words. B, you must improve your pronunciation. So spend a lot of time going through the pronunciation lessons in my online course until you can read the example sentences and the example paragraphs at the same pace, with the same rhythm, with the same tone, pronouncing all the sounds equally the same as I am, right? That's your goal when you go through pronunciation. And then the third one is to improve your grammar skills. So focus a lot in the grammar part of my course that will also help you. So by improving those basic foundation skills with both vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar, that's going to help you make some really big improvements later on with your speaking. I promise you that. You can take that to the bank. And do everything you can right now to get as much exposure to English as possible. That means that you're reading maybe magazines, newspapers, books. You're listening, news, documentary, science programs, and such. You're doing a lot of reading, a lot of listening practice right now, because all that language use is going to go in the brain. It's going to help you in your output later on in the form of really coherently organized speaking tasks with adequate supporting details, with great control over your basic grammar and advanced or basic and advanced grammar and vocabulary. I really think you can make a lot of improvements. You have to put everything in perspective. What do I do first, Michael? Well, I just told you there. I just gave you some really good tips on how you can work toward advancing your academic English language proficiency. All right, thank you, sir.